All right, everyone, we're back with another video, and this one is concerning the ATF's new pistol brace rule. Okay, so let's jump right into it. They want to regulate pistols with attached stabilizing braces to determine which ones that are designed and intended to be fired from the shoulder that have barrels less than 16 inches. Okay, so basically, they're trying to make a clearer distinction between a rifle and an SBR, and they want to regulate that. All right. Now, they've been going back and forth, more than 4 or 5, I believe, decision changes, trying to figure out which side of the line they want to be on concerning this same issue. Okay. And I don't know, man. Well, I'm pretty sure you guys, you'll chime in the comments. This is sure to generate a lot of hot points with everyone, and it's wild because one moment they're on this side of the line, the next moment they're jumping on the other side of the line. All right. So basically what this means is they're just redefining what a rifle is. Okay. Now let's go with their definitions. All right. Rifle, a weapon designed or redesigned, made or remade, and intended to be fired from the shoulder, and designed or redesigned and made or remade to use the energy of an explosive to fire only a single projectile through a rifled bore for each single pull of the trigger. Okay? That's a rifle. That's what they're saying is legal. All right? Now, before we go any further, Form 4999 is gone. Done away with. It's finito. All right? But some of the main points or criteria from Form 4999 is actually redefined in the new definition, okay? Which I'm going to get into the next point, all right? So the term designed or redesigned, made or remade, and intended to be fired from the shoulder includes a weapon that is equipped with an accessory component or other rearward attachment, a stabilizing brace, that provides surface area, right, that allows the weapon to be fired from the shoulder, provided other factors, as listed in the amended regulations and described in this preamble, indicate that the weapon is designed, made, and intended to be fired from the shoulder. The other factors are, now, there's 6 other factors. Okay. So I want you guys just to listen to these. Okay. Whether the weapon has a weight or length consistent with the weight or length of similarly designed rifles. That's number 1. Number 2, whether the weapon has a length of pull measured from the center of the trigger to the center of the shoulder stock or other rearward accessory component or attachment, including an adjustable or telescoping attachment with the ability to lock into various positions along a buffer tube, receiver extension, or other attachment method that is consistent with similarly designed rifles. All right, that's number 2. Number 3, whether the weapon is equipped with sights or a scope with eye relief that require the weapon to be fired from the shoulder in order to be used as designed. Okay, so they're saying it's no longer a pistol if the weapon is equipped with sights or a scope with eye relief that require the weapon to be fired from the shoulder in order to be used as designed. So clearly we can see they're trying to make a distinct separation. All right. Now here's number 4, whether the surface area that allows the weapon to be fired from the shoulder is created by a buffer tube, receiver extension, or any other accessory component or other rearward attachment that is necessary for the cycle of operations. All right. So what they're talking about is if your rear attachment has any flat or any surface area, okay, that can be shouldered, All right. Everything has a surface area. So, but all right, that's number 4. We're going to move into the next one. The manufacturer's direct and indirect marketing and promotional materials indicating the intended use of the weapon. All right. And that's number 5. And here's number 6. Information demonstrating the likely use of the weapon in the general community. Okay. So basically with 5 and 6, they're saying that if the manufacturer is directly or indirectly marketing and using promotional materials showing or indicating the use of the weapon, right? And the information is demonstrating the likely use of the weapon in the general community. So meaning if their, marketing tactics are showing that the weapon is shouldered, that's basically what they're referring to. Okay. So by eliminating Form 4999, they're implementing these other things here, all right, to say that if it's done this way, then that's how the weapon was intended to be used. So what does all this mean, right? They're doing this because they're saying, all right, if you're less than 16 inches, okay, all right, you're a pistol, right? But if it has a certain type of brace or rearward attachment, okay, now it's an SBR. And that is making and causing it to be more dangerous. How? Whether it's a rifle stock, right? Or it's a rifle with 16-inch or more barrel, or less than 16 inches, a gun is not dangerous by itself. It's the person holding the gun or the person using the gun. If a gun is sitting on the table and it's an SBR, or it's a rifle, or you take that same gun and convert it back to a rifle, or you take that rifle and convert it to an SBR, right? It's just laying there. One is not more dangerous than the other. You know what I mean? So this is what everybody is in a uproar about. Okay. And, from the old criteria, it had to be 64 ounces, so 4 pounds, right? Must be 12 inches in length, but no more than 26 inches in length. Okay. And I don't know, man. It hasn't been published yet, but it will go into effect 120 days from the date of publication. All right. We don't know when that publication will be finalized. We don't know if it'll be, this month, February, but they're saying by the latest in March. Okay. So you would have about 180 days to get your things in order, right? So let's move into what that is. All right. Now, one thing I do want to point out for FFL, okay, it is immediately effective. But FFLs, they have a 60-day window, to get their inventory up to snuff, so to speak, and that type of thing. So for FFLs, it goes into effect immediately. Now, as AR owners, pistol owners, rifle owners, what do you have to do now? Okay. Well, if you have what is considered an SBR under this new rule or criteria or definition or definitions, all right, which is crazy, but they're saying that you can call the ATF and have the ATF come get the SBR, right? You can destroy, another option is you can destroy the firearm. Why? Who's going to do that? All right. Or you can submit it for review to determine, to have the ATF determine if it is in fact an SBR. And that's per each firearm. So if you submit it and they say, well, hey, you know what? You're good. This one is okay. you can't just assume that because you have another gun set up similarly that that one is going to be okay. You would have to do that if you chose this option. You would have to do that for each one. All right. So per firearm. Now, another option. You can fill out a Form 1 and register it as an NFA item. All right. Now, keep in mind, you would have 120 days from the date the rule gets published, which at my time of recording this video, it hasn't been published yet. All right. So it's coming, it's coming soon. All right. And that's 120 days from the date it gets published that you would have to have your application submitted. All right. Not approved, but just submitted. Okay. Now, if you have it submitted within the 120-day window, then the ATF will not charge the $200 fee. All right. They won't charge the $200 tax stamp. All right. So I don't know, guys. I mean, you can weigh in on what your comments and what your thoughts are. And then another option, which is why I said I don't see anybody destroying their firearm. You can just convert it back to their definition of a rifle. So there's no need to destroy it when you can remove the parts and convert it back, to a rifle, So that brings us to this point. All right. What do you do, after watching this video? What do you do? I would say don't panic. Something seemed to think that if you just haul off and register your SBR, that you're admitting guilt and that, it'll open up a Pandora's box, later on, because you ran out and prematurely, registered your SBR with them. And that's basically, like admitting that, you had something illegal. That's what some people are saying. And then on the other hand, what if it gets shot down? It's been a lot of comments and uproar, and they're looking at all that stuff. They're taking all that into consideration, and that's why they, one of the reasons why they did away with Form 4999. All right, but some of the things that were in Form 4999 made its way back into the new defining criteria or addendum or definitions to the old rule. Okay, so I don't know. You guys, let me know what you think. I would say, don't freak out. Let's wait at least 60 days. All right, or possibly 90 days, because you would still have time to submit your application. So remember, if you submit the application within 120 days of the new rule or law being published, then, they waive the tax stamp fee. All right. So you got some time. So let's see what happens, with this altogether, and then while we are waiting to see what goes on, just kind of get your thoughts together, get your forms together, get your ideas together, and your plan of action as far as, which route you want to go. But worst case scenario, I would say, you can just turn it back into rifle form, But if you got to have an SBR and 60 or 90 days from now, it does get published and go into effect, then you could either register it, or if you want to just kind of push the limits and, see what they think, you can just submit it to them and see how they're going to classify the firearm, if they're going to okay it or not. All right. So I don't know. That's what I would say. Just kind of wait and see what happens in the next month or 2 or 3, and then go from there. All right, guys. So one last thing. Now, this rule does not affect stabilizing braces that are designed and intended as stabilizing braces for individuals with disabilities, and they're not for shouldering the weapon as a rifle. So if someone has a disability, right, and they have a stabilizing brace on it, you know, typically those are braces for the arm. All right. So that wouldn't classify, you know, or affect these folks here. All right. So that's one thing that I wanted to add into there. All right. So if you have a stabilizing brace and, you know, you have a disability and it's basically for you to stabilize your firearm, then this wouldn't affect you, you know, because most of those braces are for the arm and not for the shoulder. Okay. But if it's an SBR, all right, and it's a brace for the shoulder, then that takes us back to, you know, the options that I mentioned above, which you would have to figure out your course of action and how you wanted to go about it. Well, all right, guys. Thanks for stopping by. Chime in. Have a good one.